Hey there, welcome to another video. I'm Mary, the girl who loves maths, and in this lesson I'm going to teach you how to factor trinomials. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell for new videos every week. Okay, so let's head over to my iPad where we can get started on today's lesson. In this first example, we are being asked to factor this trinomial here. In order to factor correctly, what we need to do is find two numbers that multiply to give negative 30 and add together to give negative 13. So what I'm going to do is set up a couple of tables here to help us with this problem. Let's start with table number 1. So we need to find two numbers that multiply together to give us negative 30. So let's write down the factors of negative 30. Well, 5 times negative 6 gives me negative 30, as does negative 5 times positive 6. 2 and negative 15 are also factors, as are negative 2 and positive 15. We've got 3 and negative 10, negative 3 and positive 10. I could continue going on, but I'm pretty sure one of these sets is going to add to give me the negative 13. Let's start by adding together 5 and negative 6. Well, the positive and the negative give me a negative, and 5 minus 6 is neg 1. Let's try negative 5 and positive 6. They add together to give positive 1, so not quite the negative 13 we're after. How about 2 and the negative 15? Again, the positive and negative give us a negative, and 2 minus 15 is negative 13. And there we go, that's just the answer we wanted. So now we know that 2 and negative 15 are our factors in this problem. So let's rewrite this expression down here. We're going to have x plus 2, positive 2 comes from here, and x minus 15. We're pulling the negative 15 from the other factor. And there we have it, our first problem complete. On to example 2. In this example, we are being asked to factor this expression. Again, what we need to do is find two numbers that multiply together to give this third term, negative 16, and add together to give us positive 6. So let me set those tables up for us again. Let's start with the factors of negative 16. So we know that 4 times negative 4 will give us negative 16, as will 2 and negative 8, or negative 2 and positive 8. 1 and negative 16 are also factors, as are negative 1 and positive 16. Let's move on over to here to see if one of those sets actually adds to give us the positive 6 that we're after. Let's start with 4 being added to negative 4. The positive and negative give us a negative, and 4 minus 4 is 0. 2 plus negative 8. Again, this positive and negative gives us a negative, and 2 minus 8 is neg 6. Not quite the positive 6 that we're after. So let's try negative 2 and positive 8. They give us the positive, and negative 2 plus 8 gives us positive 6, which is just what we were hoping for. So we know that negative 2 and positive 8 are our factors. So we can now rewrite our expression using those factors. So we'll have t minus 2, as the minus 2 is our first factor here, and t plus 8 as positive 8 is our second factor. And there we go, another problem complete. On to our final example, number 3. In this example, we are being asked to factor this expression. You might notice that the coefficient of the squared pronumeral is larger than 1. Okay, it's 2 here. This might look a little bit scary to you, but please don't worry, as I'm going to show you the easiest method to solve this type of problem. I'm going to begin by rewriting this expression. The very first thing I'm going to do is pick up this 2 and multiply it by the constant of 15. This transforms the problem to look like the previous examples we've worked through this lesson. So what I'm going to have is my x squared, which I'll drop down. This 2 is no longer here, as I'm multiplying it by the 15. I'll also drop down my 13x, and then 15 times the positive 2 gives us positive 30. Now this problem looks so much nicer to work with, so I'm going to set up my tables so we can find two values that multiply together to give positive 30 and add together to give positive 13. Let's begin with the factors of positive 30. So we need to find two numbers that multiply together to give us the positive 30. We know 3 and 10 can give us positive 30, as can negative 3 times negative 10. 2 and 15 can multiply to give us 30, as can negative 2 and negative 15. I could keep going here and list down more factors, but I'm pretty sure that one of these sets is going to lead us to positive 13. So let's go on and see which two numbers will add together to give us the positive 13. 3 plus 10. There we go, positive 13. We've found it already. That tells us that 3 and 10 are our factors. So now we can factor using those two numbers. We'll have x plus 3 and x plus 10. We're not quite done at this point. Remember at the start how we multiplied this 2 by the 15? Well, we need to go back and undo that operation. So what we need to do is the reverse. We're going to divide by the 2 that we multiplied out in the first step. We just divide the constants by the 2. We don't worry about the x's. Now we just simplify as much as possible. X plus, well, 3 on 2 can't cancel, so I'll just leave that as is. And we'll have x plus 10 on 2 gives us 5. You'll see we still have this 2 as a denominator. It's not conventional to leave fractions in our factored forms, so what we're going to do is pick up this 2 and multiply it by the x at the front of the parentheses. So we'll get 2 times x gives us 2x, then I'll just drop that 3 down, which was my numerator up there, and we've just got our x plus 5 that we can drop down. And there we go, we've completed example number 3. If you'd like some more practice to this type of problem specifically, you can find a link in the cards.
Thank you so much for watching, and as always, if pre-calculus is what you're studying, you can visit the link in the description section below and study with me. I'll see you in there. Bye.